Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Marley from Kale and Krunches. We have another vlog this week. I think it's the second vlog of 2019 now. I just got home from my best friend's baby's bris. So I'm wearing basically my uniform of the winter, I guess. So I have these new J brand jeans that I got from Pea in a Pod that are great, and this Cutler top from Annie and Ren that I love. But I kind of lost track of time, so I was just hanging out with her after and realized I have to get home to go take a bar class that I signed up for. I'm gonna go change into my workout clothes and make coffee because I haven't had that yet, and get ready for bar. Finally have my coffee, although I'm gonna say it right now, this class is in I think like 20 minutes. I'm probably gonna have to pee twice during the class because coffee makes me have to pee a million times on a good day, but now 6 months pregnant, oh my god, I know I'm not gonna make it through class. So I'm wearing these Lululemon tights right now. I'll try and show you. I'll move it. That used to be high-waisted, but now they go up to my belly button and they're like so uncomfortable, so I definitely need to go get some more pants. I've heard that I should get the Align tights, although they're not good for sweat. They are good for like everything else, but I guess they'd be fine for bar. And I heard I should just also size up in Lulu, so I'm gonna go check that out probably some point this week. I'm gonna go to bar because I've just been on like a bit of a workout kick right now, and I just feel so much better when I work out. But that is something that I will definitely talk more about in this video, which is why I guess I should tell you what this video is about. I'm gonna sit down at some point this week and film a Q&A, just answering all the questions that came in on Instagram. I asked you guys who follow me to just send in your general questions for this week's content, and so much was about pregnancy, so I thought, you know what, let's just make them pregnancy related questions and I can answer as much as possible. So I'm gonna wait probably a few more hours, and maybe until the 24-hour point is up, to answer all those questions or to go through all of them, and then I can sit down and film and answer all of them for you. But for now, I'm gonna go have my coffee, and then I'm gonna get to bar, and then I'm gonna get some work done, and yeah. Just finished bar and yoga. It was so good, and I'm having the same salad that I've had pretty much every single day for lunch and dinner this week because can't think of things that I like to eat. It's quinoa, red peppers, cucumbers, chickpeas, and feta. That's my new thing, cheese. Never ate cheese before. I would eat it occasionally, but I would never buy it. And I bought feta for the first time. I didn't really buy a good kind. I didn't know what to buy. There's only like 1,000 options at the grocery store. How are you supposed to know? So I bought one. It's okay, it's decent. I'll probably try a different one next time. I'm gonna wolf this down. I have a call at 12:30 in 15 minutes, and then I'm gonna get a few hours of work done, and then I'm gonna check in to see on the rest of the questions that came in for the Q&A, and I'll get filming that for you. Sorry, I'm eating. So last night I was so tired. I had a call from 6 to 7:30, and I took it at DC's parents' house. And then by the time we were sitting down to eat dinner, I was literally falling asleep in my dinner plate. I don't know why I was feeling so tired. I kept saying it felt like I took a sleeping pill. So DC and I actually both got into bed at 8:30, and he probably was up for a few more hours after. Were you? You can't hear me. But I think I fell asleep probably like just before 9 and woke up at 7:30. Definitely woke up probably 4 times to pee, but I still consider that a really good night's sleep. So I feel so rested, so great. So this morning I'm just gonna do some work on my computer, have my coffee here that you saw I made yesterday. I'll have some breakfast soon. I'm gonna try and make it to a class today at noon, just like a good sweaty one, because I did a good sweaty one on Monday, and I want to get a good sweat in again today, because yesterday and the day before I did more of like stretching and toning workouts and didn't really work up a sweat. And I feel like I'm on a good roll with my workouts, and it just makes me feel so much better, which I feel like I've said to you guys a million times, so sorry to be repetitive. Anyways, I'm gonna get to your questions also. I took a screenshot of all of them before they disappeared, and there's some really good ones. So I'll film that later this afternoon and then probably get starting to edit on those. Cheers. Look like a bit more of a human being right now. I had to put makeup on, which if you follow me on Instagram, you know is my least favorite thing ever. But I have to shoot some stuff after this. So I figured, you know what, maybe I'll just put it on before I film this video. I'm gonna go through all the questions that came in on Instagram. There's a lot of them. They're really good questions. I'm gonna try and get through as many as possible, but I just wanna give like a little disclaimer before I do that. The first is, this is just my personal story and everyone is so different, especially when it comes to pregnancy. So what is happening to me, worked for me, or things like that, or my experiences aren't necessarily gonna translate, most likely won't translate to everybody. I'm sure that we'll all share some similarities, but for the most part, everyone is so different. The second thing I wanna say is this just might be triggering for someone who is maybe in the process of trying or has recently or in the past experienced loss. So I just want you to know that, because I will talk a little bit about my experience of trying. So I just want to put that out there. And as always with every pregnancy video, whether it's something a bit more serious, answering questions that came up, like you'll see, or whether it's more lighthearted, like maternity fashion, I want you to know that if you are currently struggling or have experienced any type of loss, I have you in my heart. I always do, even if the content's a bit more fun and lighthearted, I always have you guys at the forefront of my mind, and I'm never trying to be triggering, or I never want my content to be hard to watch or anything. So I just want you to know I'm always thinking of you guys, and I can't imagine what that is like to go through. I just want to put that out there. So I'm gonna start with the questions. Hi Marley, can you talk about your cycle pre-pregnancy? Irregular, did that complicate your trying? So my cycle pre-pregnancy was very irregular, and I'll give a really quick background. I was on the pill for 15 years with 0 breaks. Prior to that, if I can remember back in that day, I'm like 99.9% sure I had a very regular period. And then I went off and I didn't get a period for 6 months. So it took me 6 months for my period to come back after the pill, which I was really surprised about, because I thought I had a regular period before, it's just gonna come back, and it didn't. Eventually it did come back, and it was never regular when it did come back. My cycles ranged anywhere from I'd say probably like 30 something days, like 32, 33 days to 45 days. So that was my cycle prior to getting pregnant. Did it complicate trying? Yes, because I didn't know when I was ovulating. So if you have a standard like 28-day cycle, you technically know when you ovulate, and I never knew when I was ovulating because my cycles were always changing, and they were, for the most part, long and getting longer and longer every time. How easy was it to get pregnant? Any tips? So again, I'm not really gonna give tips because I'm not a doctor, and but I can tell you sort of things that helped me in the process. And this is also something that because of these questions came in and they were quite personal, I spoke to DC about it first, and he's like, if you're comfortable, he was comfortable letting me talk to you guys about it. So I would say it was fairly easy for us to get pregnant. At the time it didn't feel like it, but I think it was. It took us about 4 months, but that was only 3 period cycles. That was only 3 menstrual cycles, because my periods, as I said, were super, super long. So over a 4-month period, I only had, over 4 months, I only had 3 menstrual cycles, and therefore 3 opportunities to try. So we didn't know when I ovulated, like I said. So what I did is I used the app Flow on my phone, and I tracked when I was getting my period. I started using Flow, I'd say 4 months before we decided to start actually trying, just to kind of see what my period was like. And then if you have a regular 28-day cycle, Flow is great because it actually will tell you when you ovulate and like your highest chances to get pregnant. But because my cycle was always changing, it was kind of just like guesstimating. It did turn out that Flow was correct on the day that was my highest chance, looking back, but we didn't go off of the app. We didn't say like, oh, August 5th is your highest time to try. Like we didn't go off of that. We were just we tried a lot, if you know what I mean. And that's sort of what worked for us over like those 4 months. And I think like for the most part, I don't know, I'm like I said, I'm not a doctor and I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I feel like it takes most people like 6 to 8 months, or like 6 months is like not a long time. And I know like most fertility clinics won't even really see you unless you've been like trying for a year. I think everyone kind of just hopes that like, bam, first try, it's gonna happen. Okay, and so tips, I guess, would be the app Flow, like tracking your period or tracking when you actually did try. And then I also saw Energy Tree Ann Matthews, my acupuncturist, throughout this whole process, just to calm my nerves. She's a fertility specialist, so she would just give me acupuncture to like get things flowing. I don't understand Chinese medicine, but she would put the needles in to try and get me pregnant and calm me during the process, put me on supplements that would help keep my cycle up and help like regulate everything inside. So maybe Chinese medicine and acupuncture is something you want to look into, whether it's to like help you get pregnant or to at least calm you during the process. Someone asked, how did you tell your parents, siblings, etc. that you were pregnant? So it wasn't really anything exciting or special. We found out like right before Labor Day weekend, and we were all going up to my family's cottage. So on the way to the cottage, we'd stop by DC's parents a few days after we had found out. We got a blood test from the doctor. They did like urine test and just confirmed it. And we decided we were gonna tell everyone right away because in my opinion, I thought if God forbid something bad happened, I'm so close with my family and with his family that I would have told them if something bad happened and I would have sought comfort with them. So I was comfortable and he was comfortable telling them like really early on. We drove to his parents' house and told them, and then we went up to the cottage and like I told my parents, and then I told my sisters. Like it was nothing exciting. Like there's no exciting story. Did you have lots of morning nausea? How did you handle it? I was so lucky. I barely had any nausea. I felt my worst between weeks 7 to 10, and what helped me was just eating right away, sometimes eating in the middle of the night. I found that if I let myself get hungry, that's when I got nauseous. So even though I felt like I had just ate 30 minutes before, an hour before, I was constantly eating and eating things like carbs and cheese and dairy. That's what made me feel better. That's sort of how I avoided it. I just like made sure that I was always eating. So someone asked, how has your diet changed each trimester? How about exercise frequency or intensity? So I'm only in the middle of my second trimester, or like I guess nearing the end. So I can't talk about third yet. But first trimester, I didn't work out, and I wrote a whole blog post on that, which I can link below. And I'll give a quick reason. It was just that I'm a trainer and teach group classes and stuff, and I'm on my feet all day long. So I just didn't at all have the energy to do a workout class while I was in first trimester. Maybe, I'm not sure, maybe I would have had more energy to do it if I had a desk job and was sitting all day, but because I was always like demoing things for my clients, like lunges and jumping and things like that, I was so tired by the end. That was like, I considered teaching my workout. Food-wise, I could only stomach carbs and dairy, and I have a whole first trimester blog post that like shows exactly what I ate pretty much all during first trimester. I'd say by week 16, I got really into working out again and felt like so much better when I did it. So I've really been consistently working out since then, and I probably work out like 3 or 4 times a week. And I started only recently, I'd say, so I'm week 23, I'd say maybe like week 21, craving more like salads, hummus, carrots, smoothies, things that I was eating beforehand. But up until like week 21, 22, I was still like primarily carbs and dairy. What kind and how much caffeine did you drink during your first trimester until now? So first trimester, I didn't drink any coffee at all because I could not stomach it. If it wasn't a bagel and it wasn't cheese or some type of cheese, I just wasn't touching it. I could barely drink water. Soda water was really great for me, so like thank God for my Soda Stream. Coffee was like a no-no. I started craving coffee again probably like week 16, 17, around then. So yeah, like in second trimester. I didn't drink any coffee in first trimester. And how much do I have? So I have 1 cup a day. Do you run while pregnant? So if I was running before pregnancy, I would be running, but I was never really a runner. I had tried it out a few times. I'm like, I suck at running and I don't really enjoy it. So no, but like only because, not because I don't think you can, but because I'm just not a runner. What new bras do you recommend other than going up sizes, of course? I only have gone up in sizes. I got a new bra at Victoria's Secret and a new bra at Target. Those are the only 2 bras I have. I'm rotating between the 2 and I never wash them. Do you guys wash your bras? I feel like no one really washes their bras, except Carrie in Sex and the City. She's always like washing and hanging her bras. What were some of your earliest symptoms? So my earliest symptoms were insomnia. I was not sleeping basically ever. My boobs were super swollen and sore, like really, really tender. Really bad hormonal acne. Tiredness, I guess. Like I didn't really notice, but my friends who were up at my cottage the weekend that I found out were like, oh my God, I've never seen you so tired. It was so obvious you were pregnant. So I guess exhaustion, even though I kind of feel like I'm always tired. And again, like my first trimester video goes through all of those early symptoms. And like I document that video from the second I peed on my stick until the end of the first trimester. So you can go through like all of that too. How early did you find out? We're 6 weeks, so hard to wait for the first doctor's appointment and trying not to worry. I was worried about getting a false negative because I didn't know when my periods were. So it is possible to get a false negative if you test too early. So I didn't want to test too early, but the problem is I never knew how many days late I was because my period wasn't regular, okay? So I texted in and I said, I don't want to get a false negative. It's day blah, blah, blah of my cycle. And she said to me, if you pee on the stick and it's negative, it's negative. It won't be false because you're already like so far past whatever phase in your cycle. Like it's gonna be either whatever the stick says it is. So I don't know how many days late I was because I never had a proper period. So I peed on the stick, it said positive. It estimated 2 to 3 weeks on the digital test. Then I got a blood test. And then I had to have 2 dating ultrasounds. Again, all in the first trimester video. And I basically, let's say I found out at 4 weeks. And yes, it's so hard waiting for the first doctor's appointment, trying not to worry. I know. I think a big part of my insomnia was my anxiety about not knowing, you know, like you feel like shit, but then you're also like, is it in my head? Am I giving myself these symptoms? Is it psychosomatic? It's so easy to get caught up and get in your head. And my advice to you is just try and do things that calm you down. Like talk to people, like confide in your partner or confide in your friend. I saw Anne, I confided in her every day. I got acupuncture to try and calm me down because yeah, it's so scary. Like you don't feel anything. Miscarriages are so common and there's no way of really knowing. So I totally get waiting for that first doctor's appointment. It's like the longest 3 months of your life or longest 12 weeks of your life. I totally get that. How much weight does your doctor tell you to gain each trimester? My doctor never told me to gain a specific amount each trimester. I've gained, like I feel like I've gained an average amount. So I don't know, I'm sure your doctor, if you don't know, ask them, but I'm sure they'll tell you if you've gained like too much or they're worried that you haven't gained enough. But I'm sorry, I don't know the answer. Coming to terms with dietary changes and body changes when pregnant, when previously fit. So thank you. I have to say that I didn't go from my fittest to pregnant at all because of my shoulder and wrist injury. I was coming from a place of not my fittest because I had to really cut back on working out and just let my body heal. So I went from a period of like high intensity workouts, being my leanest, being my fittest, my skinniest, to a place of like trying to heal injuries, which was more low impact workouts like walking and Pilates, put on probably like 5 to 7 pounds. And then I got pregnant. So I was already kind of going through that phase of like dealing with weight gain before the pregnancy. And I actually think that the pre-pregnancy weight gain was way harder than the pregnancy weight gain because I technically didn't have an excuse. So I was much harder on myself before getting pregnant about my weight gain because I was like still trying to be the fittest I could possibly be with a lot of limitations due to injury. Now I'm kind of getting to the point now where I love how I look. It took me a really long time to get there. Even like in Miami a couple weeks ago, I felt so disgusting in my bikini. But I think now that the more you pop, I think like the more you feel better about yourself, because it's less like the awkward chubby fat stage where like, are you pregnant? Are you not pregnant? So I think like the more you look pregnant, the better you feel about your body. I just feel like that's probably really universal. I'd be wrong, some people could like hate their belly growing, but I think for the most part, when you're like in that stage or like the awkward chubby phase, the fat phase as my doctor calls it herself, and people don't know, or it's hard to tell, like you just feel really bad about yourself. I'm waiting for my belly to come out past my boobs because they keep growing too. And like, I just, feel like I'll look so much cuter when the belly goes past the boobs. One day, hopefully they get there. Jumping jacks, yay or nay? What if you've been doing lots before pregnancy? My general rule of thumb is anything you were doing before pregnancy, you can continue doing as long as you lower your intensity and you get your doctor's permission. Because I'm not a doctor, I'm not telling you to do jumping jacks, but I'm still jumping around like crazy because it still feels completely fine. And I was jumping around like crazy before I got pregnant. So ask your doctor if you're unsure, but the general consensus is you can continue doing running, jumping, everything that you were doing, as long as A, you lower your intensity, and B, it feels okay. Like you'll feel, I know it's annoying to say, but you'll feel when something feels off. I heard about hair loss after 3 months postpartum. How can you prevent that? Supplements? Oh God, I've heard about that too. I feel like the only good thing in this pregnancy, like looks wise, has been my hair. So I'm really not excited for it to fall out. It doesn't happen to everyone though. I do think you can't avoid it. Can you take supplements and collagen and stuff? Like you can, but at the end of the day, your hormones in your body are gonna do what they're gonna do. And anything that's probably pregnancy safe isn't gonna really help your hair from falling out. I actually am kind of lucky because for whatever reason, I grew up with this. So I've literally had this my entire life, these like awkward bangs. My whole life they've been here. I've never had a nice hairline where you can just put your hair back and like call it a day. And like in fitness, that sucks because you just want your hair off your face. So I've always had these. They're like orangey. They get orangey in the sun, especially. They are my baby hairs. My old hairdresser used to call them my problem areas. So I already look like I have postpartum hair loss, and I've had that my whole life. And my friends will like text me photos of them postpartum and be like, look at my hair loss. And I'm like, I've had that forever, please. So I'm kind of lucky in the sense that like my hair already looks like it fell out. So I'm just going with it. I'm used to it. What are you looking forward to the most, and what are you the most scared about? Love from Amsterdam, cool. What am I looking forward to the most? I don't know, I guess just like meeting her and seeing what she's gonna look like, and I don't know, I guess like all the things. What am I the most scared of? 1000% labor and delivery, like 100%. I am petrified. I hate blood, I hate doctors, I hate hospitals. I hate getting my blood pressure taken. Like I am the most squeamish, worst patient you've ever met. So labor, delivery, it scares me. I'm scared. How much more do you really need to eat when you're pregnant? Is it a myth? So yeah, you definitely aren't eating for two. I don't think you really need to up your portion sizes that much. I think you just need to eat more frequently to calm your nausea. So when people are eating like 2 hamburgers or like 3 things of fries, like you should still be eating smaller meals, but just more frequently. And yeah, definitely like you're not eating for 2. Your baby is getting all the nutrients it's getting. And like think about women with hyperemesis who like are throwing up their entire pregnancy and are fine, and the baby's fine. Like if those people can have a healthy baby, like you don't need to go crazy on the diet. How does it feel to work out being pregnant? Are you more fatigued? Do you feel a lot heavier? So yeah, I feel heavier for sure and a little off balance now that my belly's bigger. I feel amazing. Like I feel more connected to my body, to her, to everything. And I just feel like I have more energy. So working out personally makes me feel amazing, but that's not the case with everyone. Some people might hate it and just feel terrible. I still feel like I have a lot of energy and I can keep up. So for me, it's more about like making sure that I'm not working out at the same intensity I used to. I wear my heart rate monitor to make sure, but if I could, I probably would still be able to go full force just because it feels good. but I try not to. How does DC feel? DC is the best. He's so excited. I feel like he already feels so connected to her too. Like we have a little ritual where we use an app to check out what like fruit and vegetable she is every week, and we read about the pregnancy and what's happening to my body. And like every Monday night we get into bed, we look at the app together, we read it, and like he's so, even like the gross parts when they talk about like the veininess and the discharge and like all the gross things that are happening to your body, he's like doesn't get grossed out by it. He's so interested and like so connected, and it's been so nice. I feel like it's just been so good for us. What prenatal vitamin are you taking? I take Mega Foods Baby and Me Too, and I actually have another YouTube video all about my prenatal. So you can like search in my thing, or I can try and like add a thing. I'm not sure how to do that yet. I can figure it out. But like I have a video all about prenatal vitamins. And last question I will answer. Any tips and tricks of dealing with the constant exhaustion? So again, I've been really lucky that I've sort of just felt like myself. I haven't had crazy exhaustion. First trimester, I had insomnia the entire time. So that was just like, I don't even know how I got through that. Like I was not sleeping. So I didn't have any tips to deal with that, because like I wasn't sleeping. So even if it's not like I didn't have time to take a nap or like lie down, like I had all the luxuries of time, I just couldn't sleep. I think taking magnesium is good. It calms your nervous system. Just double check with your doctor that the brand you're using is safe. You can take some melatonin, but my doctor told me to take magnesium first, and then if it didn't work, go to melatonin. Napping whenever you can, I guess. I know like friends who've like taken naps in their car before, like ain't no shame in napping, 100%. I used to wake up and do 6 a.m. workouts all the time. Now it's not, like now I just get as much sleep as I can. So I think just like really being kind to your body, listening to your body, and maybe stop drinking caffeine if you're having a hard time sleeping. But I think like dealing with the constant exhaustion is just like listen to your body and be kind. You're growing a human and you're allowed to be tired, and that's something I always have to remind myself, like it's normal that you're tired. You're allowed to be tired. So just let yourself be tired, rest when you need to rest, even if it doesn't mean falling asleep. Like sit in front of the TV and watch Netflix and don't move. Like give yourself this time if you can, if you don't have any other kids right now, like to just be exhausted and just like let yourself deal with it, let yourself feel it and nurture that exhaustion. Like try and be kind to yourself. So I hope that those were helpful answers. If you guys ever have any more questions, you know, you can always find me through DMs, or you can leave comments on this video. And yeah, back to regular scheduled programming. Okay, I just finished filming a bunch of other content too, and I'm about to get my workout in. I'm gonna make a snack now before I work out. I used to normally have probably a snack like an hour before, if that. And now I normally eat like 20 minutes before, because I just find like it doesn't make me nauseous anymore to eat that close to the workout, and like I need it to get through the workout. I also really wish I could take you through these classes and film it, but there's so many people in them. Obviously that's not cool. So this is more of like a circuit based workout. So there's cardio equipment, treadmills, rowers, assault bikes, and then weights and stuff like that. So I wish I could show you, but I can't. Okay, let's do rice cakes right here. Gonna go into here and probably do just like empty. Probably do almond butter. Oh my God, even just walking up these stairs, shaking already. We did so many legs today. Whew. But I am dying. Oh my God. Not wearing a top, not because I wasn't wearing one in class, but because I did a little photo shoot at home just by my front door because the light was good, and I just feel my prettiest and my sexiest and my best after a workout. Even though I'm out of breath and I like squeeze myself into these pants, into this bra, I definitely, without a doubt, feel my best after a workout, no matter what. Pregnant or not pregnant. I just always feel my best after. All right, I'm gonna go shower and eat some lunch. Morning, guys, happy Friday. I woke up about an hour and a half early, or an hour and a half before my first client today, which was at 7, which is fine because I went to bed at, what time did we go to bed? Like 9 again?
You did.
9. I went to bed at 9. You can see that it's still dark out. And DC and I have both been very consistent with our morning routines lately. I've been meditating every morning since January 1st, and I'll talk about that like later when it's been going on for longer. And DC's been stretching in my office, and I've been putting on a podcast, making my coffee, and just trying to have a very controlled, productive morning. And I realized I used to think that I wouldn't be able to do this often because of my clients and stuff. Then I looked at my schedule and realized I can do this every single day except for Thursdays when I have a 6:30 a.m. client. And normally I'd wake up at 5, but like being pregnant, I'm not waking up at 5. So I have my client today, then I have a full day at home, and those are my favorite days because I can get so much done on the computer, so much content done, working on a really, really exciting project that I will tell you guys more about soon. And this has just been my situation for the past few days. And this is DC's morning situation. What's your morning routine?
Stretch. Shower.
What? Shower, stretch, shower.
Breakfast.
Lemon water, salt.
Oh.
He's so diligent. Anyways, I am gonna go still enjoy my morning with my coffee, and then I'm gonna have my client, and then I'm actually gonna edit this video and get it ready for you guys for Sunday. All right, that is all. I really hope that you like this one. It definitely gets a little personal, answers a lot of questions, but as always, if you ever have any more questions, you can always find me on Instagram at Kale and Krunches on DM. I always get back to everybody, or on comments here and on my website and all that fun stuff. And please like this video, please subscribe if you haven't, because it really just helps support my channel and connects me to amazing people like you. And I will see you guys next week.